All right, to all my people who still watch wrestling, welcome to episode 28 of Yes, We Still Watch Wrestling.
We
This is
moving.
this is Steve Dent. We got Shaq in the house, we got Chili in the house, and boy, is it WrestleMania season or not.
I don't know
It's
what it is, but
crazy.
boy, it's
It
it's cooking right now.
it's
They cooking.
cooking. It's cooking, man. But look, that's not how we're gonna start off today. We're gonna save that for a little bit. AEW Revolution. All right.
Yeah.
I admittedly didn't watch it. We're not gonna talk about why on here on live air. We're not gonna talk about why. I was spare AEW tonight. Highly frustrated, but it is what it is. You know
We
what I
have to
mean?
factory use the error with that.
Nah, I can't go into detail, but it won't use the error, man. But AEW, I'm not paying. I saw Ricochet. He made a tweet saying like, "Ha ha ha, yeah, I think just because we on Max or whatever, that pay-per-view means you're gonna be able to stream it for free, even if you got the subscription. Pay-per-view means you still gotta pay. Well, Steve, that ain't paying the $5. I was just like, I can't afford it. So nah, we not doing that. But
They don't have enough pay-per-views on a monthly basis to do like WWE does,
Yeah, they have to build up their cachet. Hello.
Peacock and everything.
hey, hopefully they just added the match like they did the 2019 pay-per-views. Hopefully they added the match soon so I can watch it.
Great
And be-
pay-per-view.
Yeah, I was very upset that I did to watch
Until
it.
the ending, it was a great pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And that I'm perfect segue. That's exactly what we're gonna talk about. But what I did see, I saw the ending to that pay-per-view. I was extremely disappointed. And but you guys saw it, so I wanna get y'all take on it first. How do we feel about we just gonna say the entire ending because I'm gonna focus on the Christian Cage part, but y'all saw the whole thing, so either one of y'all go first. What did y'all think about we'll get to the pay-per-view as a whole in a minute, but what did y'all think about the ending?
It was trash.
And my bad, real quick. I'm sorry, my bad, real quick. For the audience, if you don't know what we're talking about, the main event was Jon Moxley versus Cope for the AEW.
Edge, man, Cope, Adam Cope.
Nah,
You don't-
let's not do that. We respect the character.
You the one that told me. You the one that correct me every time I say Edge. You the one that always correct me, dog.
we call him Adam. I'm not calling the man Cope.
I
Yeah,
just
that's his wrestler name, man. Respect
I
that
don't get me
man.
wrong. I hate the name, but that's what he going by, Cope. Yeah, so he going by Cope, man. It was them two in the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship, and then Christian Cage tried to cash in. So I just wanted to give that caveat. My bad, Shaq. Go ahead.
Yeah, it made sometimes it's okay to pivot from what you have going on right now. Like that was the perfect time to get the belt off of Moxley. Love and appreciate Mox for all he done for AEW, but sometimes it's okay to go away for a while. Get stale and then let the people miss you a little bit and then come back. Like Mox, the Death Riders aren't working. It's a trash storyline now. Started off had a lot of potential, but it's just not working. Like it's okay to scrap things and then come back fresh. And then even if it was gonna be 1-on-1, they could have had Cope win, but then to do Christian like that, like that's trash. Christian been putting on some of the best heel work, not even of his career, like other years.
It ain't what it used to be though. It ain't what it was, man. It ain't what it was.
So
Like,
I don't know what you think with it.
he didn't ran that father figure shit into the ground right now, even though it's dope and it's funny as hell. Like to your point, the match itself was mid at best.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that great. In the grand scheme, like long form storytelling, like this is all leading to Swerve getting the belt back at All in Texas, and they just need someone to still hold the belt. I think you still have it in the right hands with Mox over Cope, respectfully, because you don't need the title to be involved in a Cope versus a Christian match. So it's like, all right, Cope loses, although he picks up the good fight. Obviously Christian gets involved, get rid of that contract. Cause I just, yeah, the contract's kind of stupid. I think, it's good to take some ideas from WWE, but some shouldn't, they don't need that. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think I still rock with Christian Cage's character, and we talked about this a while ago with Drew about how like it was reported that he wasn't happy with his main event spot. I mean, not main event spot, but it wasn't happy with his spot on the WrestleMania card, stuff like that. We don't know if that's true or not, but we're talking about like after the year he's had, like kind of like rewarding that, you know what I'm saying, when you get yourself over like that. And I don't feel like Christian Cage has ever been rewarded for the work that he did, even if like people do feel like he ran that character into the ground, which could be true. But he never actually got rewarded for that. Like in a big way. And I'm talking about with the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. So it would have been cool to see him win it. There's one thing about that contract situation I don't know. You know how like with Money in the Bank is for a year. Did his contract ever expire anytime soon? Like, was there a time limit on that? Y'all know?
I would assume if hypothetically if they were going to do it again at the next All In.
Yeah.
And All In is in August, right?
Yeah, August or July.
That's right.
See, I personally feel like if you don't have him cash in or try to cash in that contract right then and there, Swerve's in next in line. I think Moxley gonna drop the belt to Swerve at Double or Nothing, and then Swerve and Christian Cage already got a storyline that you could easily, you know, say insert for All In or whatever, or whenever he wanted to cash in, give Swerve another good run and wherever he wanted to cash in, that could have happened. So I think it was premature, man. I don't like the fact that you kind of how Willie talk about Super Rhea is almost like we got Super Mox now. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily like that. It's been reported that AEW knows like the Death Rider story is not, it's not hot right now. You know what I mean? But it doesn't look like they're willing to come off that story anytime soon. So we gonna see, man. But overall, what did y'all think about the pay-per-view? Y'all got a grade for it? What matches stand out? Y'all go ahead. Chili, we'll start with you on this one.
A- overall for the show.
Mm.
The downsides were the main event, and then the tag match was pretty mid. And I wasn't a big fan of the Mercedes Moné. I think the girl's name was Momo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Momo.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that match. I think that brought the show down. But other than those three matches, the rest of the freaking show was fire. Like, I mean, they went on a quick little run with like Swerve Ricochet, Tony Storm, and Mariah May. Damn near best match of the night. Will Ospreay, yeah. Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, like arguably one of the best steel cage matches ever. And we could, you know, I don't know if we're even going to talk about last night's steel cage match, which was fire as well.
We are.
So, you know, overall, it was a great night, man. It's one of those things where, man, I don't know when you really think about it, since AEW's creation and existence, how they've been pitting up a whole lot of like 5-star matches and match of the year candidates since their creation. That's a pretty like hefty streak to be on, to be averaging as far as quality matches. When you think about it in comparison to a WWE, I wonder how many 5-star matches they've had in their existence. I'm gonna look that up while we're talking. But yeah, but overall, great match, man. I had no issues with it. I enjoyed myself watching this show.
So what was your
pause?
Am I bad?
Sound right. I don't know if that sounded right, but
am I bad if you already said it? You said two matches were probably the match of the night. What is your match of the night? Was it Mariah May and Tony Storm, or was it Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay?
Man, I'm gonna give it to the Mariah May Tony Storm match, just because that's not something you're gonna see done, if ever at all, or it's gonna be like 20 years down the line when this is long forgotten and a new generation is trying to do something.
Last time I seen a woman bleed that much in the wrestling match was Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. I think that was Thunder Rosa she fought.
Thunder Rosa in the street fight.
In that steel cage street fight. That's the last time I seen a woman bleed that much. So yeah.
That was like at the start of AEW. I know what you mean. I remember that one.
Yeah, that was a good. That's one of my favorite AEW matches. That was pretty good. All right, Shaq, you go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I agree with Willie. A- for the pay-per-view. The wrong match was to go home. The Mariah May and Tony Storm should have been the last match, and it should have been the main event. like without a doubt. You don't get better long-term storytelling than that with a bunch of callbacks, a bunch of high spots like that. It was, and like the blood was crazy. Like they bled a lot in that match. They bled a lot in that match. But even the ending with them, going through the Hollywood sign and the end over the top on the top of the jumbotron, like letting them know this is it. The feud is over. Like the end scene, it was a great match. And the tag match was it wasn't a trash match. It was just like I would say a glorified squash match. Like you knew the Hurt Syndicate were winning. It was just that how soon were they gonna win?
I'm be honest. Who did they face? I'm be honest with you. I didn't check for that match.
What's the name of that tag team, Willie?
I don't know who they face.
I know they're
Outrunners. The Outrunners.
Yeah, Outrunners.
Yeah, that's why.
My bad. I got y'all on mute right now while I'm looking this up.
Hey, but real quick before we move on, Ricochet versus Swerve. What letter grade? Y'all get that real quick.
A.
Okay. All right. But to your point, Shaq, that's a great segue. I'm glad you brought up the fact that Mariah and Toni Storm should have main evented because everybody was much more invested in that story than Cope and John Moxley, which brings me to my next topics. Mercedes Moné, she was recently on a podcast, and forgive me, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the podcast that she was on, so forgive me for the people that did the interview. However, she had a quote, and I'm going to read the entire quote to you guys real quick. So she said, and the quote was about her saying that she feels like, and she's tired of men holding women back in professional wrestling. And the quote says, it's clear that we bring in just as much as the men, so why not get paid equally? Why not receive the same amount of TV time? Why not, huh? I was the first woman to main event a pay-per-view, which is so special. I was the first African-American woman to main event WrestleMania. I've accomplished so many firsts, and my biggest goal is just to make those things happen for women all over the world. These men, that's the biggest roadblock. We prove ourselves all the time, but the consistency isn't there. It's like, okay, we'll give them a chance. Then when we succeed, they think, oh, don't let them be better than us. We need to take that chance back. So in regards to that quote, I'm going to say my thoughts on this real quick. There's things that I've been saying about the women for years. Number one, I've been saying that it's a shame that at WrestleMania, we've never seen a story build up between a one-on-one women's match that's not for a title. I feel like the only time the women get on the WrestleMania card is if it's for one of the world heavyweight title belts, and if they throw them in a six-man tag or whatever, like they did the Big Three last year. But hopefully, it looks like that's coming to an end with Naomi and Jade. So we're gonna hold out on hope for that they actually made that official for WrestleMania. It's been times where I feel like the women should have main evented, just like last night. Well, not last night. On Sunday night, Toni Storm and Mariah May. That should have been the main event. I feel like the only time they should main event is when, somebody's back in their home country, like Rhea was in Australia, when they let her main event and stuff like that. The reason why I'm cool with them not having Bianca versus Rhea at WrestleMania is because that's a WrestleMania main event match that's not going to main event, because we're going to have a triple threat, which we're going to talk about later. We're going to talk about it later. But we're going to have a triple threat between three box office attractions. Don't get me wrong. They all box office, you know what I mean? But one match is for a title and one match is not. And one match is probably going to main event while the other is not. The women, so it's been announced that, and we could talk about this too right now, but it's been announced that Evolution is coming back. Y'all don't know what Evolution is for the viewers. That was the first ever all women's pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
So just the women putting on, and if you never seen that pay-per-view, please go back and watch that Becky Lynch and Charlotte match. That match actually kind of started the heel. She didn't officially turn heel, but that match kind of set the bar for what Becky Lynch was about to do with her character, The Man. So if you haven't seen that match, please go back and watch it. But yeah, they're just now coming out with the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title. Shout out to Chelsea Green. She is doing her thing with that U.S. title, building that stable up. Major shout out to her. I don't know what's going on with the Intercontinental title right now. And I don't think it's necessarily Lyra's fault, because she's a good wrestler. But the way they doing Chelsea Green with giving her the story and stuff like that, they're not really doing that with Lyra. I would think
she don't have no character, man.
Yeah,
She
so
don't. She
She don't have
don't.
no character. I'm gonna say she don't have no story. She don't have no character either. Like,
Nah, she
I don't
don't.
see her talking on the mic all crazy and getting you hype. So that's why they about to get that shit to damn Raquel and keep that shit in the Judgment Day and keep it propped up.
I don't even think they're gonna give it to Raquel, bro.
Who they gonna give it to?
I don't know, but I don't think they're gonna give it to Raquel. Not right now.
Hey, real quick side note before you move on. AEW has 41 5-star matches compared to WWE's 21
Well,
5-star
Ospreay got to be
matches.
35 of those.
I mean, I can only take that. I ain't gonna say with a grain of salt, but Dave.
I know what you said.
Yeah.
Like, it's Dave Meltzer favors AEW.
It ain't even favor. He's come out and directly said he does not like WWE style of wrestling. So if you don't like a product, then I mean, I can only accept that, but so much. I mean,
So he admitted his bias.
Yeah, I'm still mad that Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 39 is not a 5-star match. That's absolutely crazy. But yeah, with that being said, man, I do agree with her. I agree with her, man. I agree. Like, it's been times where the women have stole the show. Obvious that the women have stole the show. I don't feel like there's enough stories involved. That's probably like my biggest issue. There's not enough stories involved with like the top women. It's like, all right, we're going to set up this feud, but where's the stories? Like, we finally got a story with this whole Jade situation, right? And now the story, like, we getting some storytelling because now the whole situation has spilled over into the triple threat that's about to go on with Bianca and Rhea. And then Rhea got a story as far as her not being able to beat Io, but on top of that, she feels vulnerable. She feels alone. She feels like everybody has turned their back against her. We're starting to get some stories, but there's not enough stories. And I do feel that way. Triple H even came out last week and said that he's not just going to give the women a WrestleMania main event. They got to earn it. And I'm like, well, I mean, if you're looking at Rhea and Bianca, how haven't they? Like, what you asked, the women's tag team titles was irrelevant until Bianca, and I would even dare to say that it wasn't quite relevant even with Bianca and Jade. I think Bianca and Naomi made it more relevant than anything, but they still made it relevant, right? So you asked her to build up those tag team titles. Rhea Ripley, whether we like Super Rhea or not, she had a hell of a year last year. And if you think I almost want to say she's just as over as Cody, but I'm going to pause on that. But her ovation last night was crazy. When her music hit, her ovation was crazy. So I don't know what else they needed to deserve the main event spot.
I want to say this. I want to say this, like, when I agree in general with the statement that was being made. However, part of me does agree with Trips from the standpoint women have to earn it from the standpoint of they need a story. Like, the wrestlers themselves are main event worthy, but is there a story that's going to connect other than just the star power themselves?
Mm-hmm.
I'll use the example exactly with why they're talking. I think they're talking about Roman, Punk, and Seth potentially main eventing night one.
It's going to main event night one.
You know what I mean? It's like them alone are box office worthy, but there's a story there that interweaves it even more.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think if there's a story there for the women that makes it that much more palatable, what's building between Jade, Naomi, and Bianca, but it's not there yet. They still cooking that. Then maybe that can be them. Like, I think that would be them. Really, so like, even with the Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte, there was a story there going on. Like, they ain't just throw them all together.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. There was a story there. Shaq, before I comment on what Willie said, Shaq, you go ahead because you haven't said anything yet.
Like, I get what Triple H is saying, but it's also like, how to put it? Like, he has to say that. Like, we used to hear Vince say, get yourself over and then I'll make you a star. Grab the brass ring. But when people do that, it's all like agenda. If they have a plan, they're going to stick to that plan. Just because you got popping, we're not going to deviate from this plan. It happens rarely, like with DB, with Kofi. Like, sometimes things like that can't be ignored. Like, we kind of have to do this. but those instances are rare. Like there's been plenty of people that have gotten over when they weren't supposed to, were some of the hottest things in wrestling, and they still got released.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's about agenda. Like with like me, we were talking about Rusev the other day. Like Rusev Day wasn't supposed to be popular like that, but Rusev got over. Zack Ryder got himself over. See what I'm saying? If the company don't see you as a star, hell with the fans say, nah, we got an agenda here that we have to stick to. And we gonna stick to it.
Yeah. So I mean, and I want to say this. I do agree with his premise that they have to earn it.
I agree.
I think my issue is that I think in some cases they have. Like, and this is nothing against EO. I think I stand on what I said.
Who was in charge then?
What you mean?
Who was in charge then? Like, you saying they have earned it. I agree with you. There have been plenty of opportunities when they were overly deservedly of being, in the main event. However, who was in charge then? And
I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. My bad. I'm specifically talking about this year. I'm not talking about. All right, let me think. I'm gonna think of past manias in the past 5 years where I think women should have main evented. I don't know if there is one. There was a debate about Rhea and Charlotte main eventing night one instead of the Usos and Sammy and KO. But once again, that one, I felt like the Usos
bloodline story superseded anything.
I felt that one. I would say that should have made.
There isn't a story that's going on with the women right now that supersedes is going on with the men's side, unfortunately.
So, and I agree with you.
If the Rhea Liv shit was going on now, yeah, that would be something main event worthy.
Yeah. Okay, so I agree with you only because they doing the triple threat. If they was doing Rhea versus Bianca, and I really feel like, and once again, the points that goes in charge.
That goes over Jay and Gunther?
Yeah. Nah. Because they have a story dating back not only from NXT, like they remember that picture that Raquel, Bianca, and
I understand the history.
Yeah.
I understand the history there. But what I'm saying is something that has literally been cooking in front of our face for the last 2 years, 3 years with Jey Uso. And you talking about something that's been underlined. It ain't even been in our face, the Bianca and Rhea story. This whole Jey thing has progressed to what it is now.
You know why I'm gonna say it is? Because right before Royal Rumble, y'all was ready to throw that story out the window. And I'm not saying y'all to specific. I'm talking about everybody. Everybody on social media, when he lost to Gunther after Saturday Night Main Event, everybody was like, oh, it is what it is. Jay ain't gonna get another shot. Bury it. The story is over. Gunther went up 3-0. And then all of a sudden he wins the Royal Rumble. And it's like, even then, people was like, yo, do we want to see another Gunther match? Like, we've already seen this match 3 times. Like, do we really want to see him go after Gunther again? So people was questioning it. Like, it wasn't ever sold. Now, granted, over the past couple weeks, they done a great job of getting us invested into that match. Well, I was already invested, but they done a great job of getting everybody else invested into that match. But people weren't all the way sold on that. That's the only reason why I pushed back. Whereas Bianca, not even the NXT stuff. You go back to the story from WrestleMania 39 where Bianca felt slighted because Rhea Ripley picked Charlotte instead of her. You know what I'm saying? Like they've had interactions. Go back to last year when they was backstage and they was face to face. Go back to the year before that when they teased the match with them at WrestleMania 40 when Bianca was it 40 or 39? No, it was right after 39 when Bianca still had the title and they had a face-off backstage. Like, they've given us previews of this actually being about to happen. And there's a story there. And I think had they did Bianca versus Rhea, I absolutely think that would deserve the main event over Jay and Gunther. But they didn't do it that way. And once again, this is not a slight to EO. I think EO deserves it. You know what I mean? I think she deserves what's going on. But that triple threat match, and we could talk about that a little bit too, because that's on the agenda. That triple threat match.
They're going to pack their ass right in the middle of the damn show, man.
Exactly.
I hate to see it.
It's
I
not
hate to see it, man.
them as a
Because
triple.
Jay and them got going first on one of them nights.
Yeah,
Jay
because
and Gunther, they got to go first one of them nights to set the tone.
exactly, it's tough, but I agree, man. Especially, and I think the proof is in the pudding that we didn't get Rhea versus Bianca. Because once again, had we got that match, y'all know I'm a Roman fan. I would even put that match in the main event over that triple threat. I really would. But the triple threat of Io, Bianca,
Crazy,
and
man.
yeah,
Crazy.
I would, man. It's a hell of a story.
It's at least gonna go on night 2 because they're not gonna have 2 triple threat matches
They
in
not.
one night.
I would
Yeah, we're gonna
even
go on
go
night
as
2.
far as
So
to say they missed the opportunity to make Rhea and Bianca the next Becky and Charlotte, or the next Sasha Banks and Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? However, or the next Sasha Banks and Bailey. Like, they missed the opportunity to have that be the next big feud in WWE. And the story there, I think a lot of people forget, is that Bianca never beat Rhea. She's never beaten Rhea. Bianca never even held the NXT Women's title. Rhea had it the entire time. So it was a story there, but that's just one example. There's other examples of, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, the men holding the women back. I don't think it's that prevalent in NXT. I think and to your point, Willie, I think when the women earn it, they give them that main event spot.
Okay.
But yeah, she got a point. Is it
Well,
100?
the stories have been there, man. It's not just the wrestling, and like the stories have been there for the women also, man. Like, we got to stop being oblivious to that.
Give me an example.
Like in NXT, I'm talking about.
Yeah. Nah,
Like,
no,
the
the
example you're
story.
giving.
Yeah, the
The
story.
stories
Okay, my
have been
bad.
there. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, the story is
it ain't been the same with the women in the WWE, like in the main run.
they got to do it, but if that's booking though, right? They got to do a better job giving those stories, man. Cause that's what's missing with Lyra. Chelsea
And
got a story.
this goes back to my point though about who was in charge back then. Like,
yeah, it's true.
you know what I mean? Like when Trips was back down there and had his hands all in NXT stuff, you
Yeah,
seen how the women were treated.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, now that it's happened, just let that man cook. Like what? Like
Yeah.
who said the statement? Who made the statement? Did it say who?
It was Mercedes Moné. Yeah.
Okay. Again, like look when she was there. I know, albeit like Naomi, she may have some inside stuff, but I'm gonna let Trips cook. She still has a point regardless.
Mm-hmm.
They can still give some more time to them. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna trust Trips and let that man cook. And what he's
the tale's gonna be, what did they do with this triple threat after? Do they pretty much wash it away after whoever wins, or do we have some follow-ups in regards to it? We should, even though it's WrestleMania worthy, SummerSlam, I want to say this year is the first year's 2 nights. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they announced that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We may get Rhea versus Bianca at SummerSlam. That's a possibility. You know what I
Who
mean?
takes the pin at Mania?
Between the 3?
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. Because I think Io wins.
I think Io takes the pin.
But I don't think Io wins.
Well, hold on. My bad.
I think this is just a transition.
Yeah, transition. I don't think Io wins.
For Rhea or Bianca. I think for Bianca to be champion again, I think.
I think last week I said that Bianca was going to win with the help of Naomi. I've been back and forth about this one because the other thing I thought about, only one of them has never had a major WrestleMania win, and that's Io. Io lost, even though she put on, well, I think it was a classic. I think WrestleMania put on a few classes, and I think that's the one that don't get talked about enough. But Io versus Bailey was fire last year. So she had a moment, but she has had a big win. So maybe Trips give her that big win. I did think about that. Bianca got to pick a side. Maybe Bianca wins with the help of Naomi. Ooh, that's a tough call. I'm going to need time to think about that one. Who takes the pin? Yeah, I'm going to need time to think about that one. It would be lovely to see Rhea take the pin. I'm not going to lie. Because she's been put over, as unstoppable.
Yeah. Maybe the chinks in the armor, like, just like with this loss, it breaks her ego even more, and maybe she starts to crash out.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be a bigger story. Crash out Rhea would be a bigger story. She ain't got Damian Priest with her. I think that'd be a bigger story for sure. So, all right. And then I was going to ask in regards to Evolution. I know I put that down for us to talk about. There's my question to you guys.
I'm here, fellas. My fault. My pop's calling me. I'll be right back.
You good. Give me one match that you would like to see at? Matter of fact, give me two. Give me 2 or 3 matches that you would like to see at Evolution.
All right. One would be it has to be active roster, current roster, right?
Yeah, and it could be NXT. Shoot,
Okay.
we can throw TNA in there too since they done merged with WWE. So we can do the TNA roster, NXT roster, main roster.
I'm going to go Roxanne Perez. It's a triple threat match. Roxanne Perez, Bianca Belair, and Charlotte Flair.
Ooh, okay.
That'd be one match. A singles match. A hardcore singles match. Chelsea Green and Cactus Jack Fit versus.
And real quick, just to give you a heads up,
Yeah.
just so you can think, it's in July.
Okay.
It's in July, so that give you a time frame based on like stories and stuff like that. But go ahead.
Chelsea Green in a hardcore match versus Becky Lynch, Nia Jax, and Piper Niven.
Okay. I'm gonna
That's what I think.
I'm gonna go with Roxanne Perez versus whoever got the Intercontinental title at the time. We don't know if it's gonna be Lyra, but whoever got it, I would like to see that match.
Well, another match would be Tiffany Stratton, Liv Morgan, and who else probably will be in that? Julia and Bailey.
I think this got to be putting over the future. So I think give me Bianca versus Io versus Rhea versus who the big four right now? Bianca, Io, Rhea, and I'm missing one. Not Bailey.
Charlotte, Tiffany, Becky's not around.
Who the fourth? I can't think.
Fourth is interchangeable.
I just seen a post about it too, saying that the post is saying this is the best big four in women's WWE history.
You said Rhea, right?
Yeah, I said Bianca.
Bailey, you mean Bailey?
Liv Morgan. It was Liv Morgan.
Yeah, Liv Morgan, yeah.
Give me Bianca versus Liv versus Rhea versus Io for a title to represent changing of the guard, but also give me the triple threat of Bailey versus Charlotte versus Becky. Give me Roxanne versus whoever the Intercontinental Champion is. Give me Jade versus Chelsea Green for the U.S. title. Or we could see Jade versus Naomi again, or throw all 3 of them in the mix. But
I'm just making up matches, brother. You really are.
Yeah. That was the last
together.
That was the last one I had. Shaq, give me real quick, give me 1 or 2 matches you would like to see at Evolution this year in July.
I'm okay. I want to see Tiffany versus Becky.
Okay. So you think Tiffany's still gonna have the title?
I don't know. I ain't saying nothing about title. I'm just creating a match. Tiffany versus Becky.
Okay.
They might want to hold up. Didn't they hold Jade versus Naomi?
I mean, well, I think they're doing that at WrestleMania. That's April. We got May, June, and July. That I don't know if that's still going on by July. I don't know.
Hey, give me a honorable mention, last woman standing match. Nia Jax versus Piper Niven.
And keep in mind, by that time, Asuka should be back. By that time,
I want Pop Rocks versus Charlotte.
I would love to see Pop Rocks versus Asuka, yo. That would be a fire match, yo. That would
Pop
be
Rocks
crazy.
versus Charlotte.
Pop Rocks versus Charlotte is crazy too. That'd be dope. All right, so Shaq.
Yes.
Coming to you first on this one. Last week you said something. You remember what your final take was last week? Before we ended the episode, I said, all right, one last comment about John Cena's heel turn. You remember what you said? You said, and I don't want to misquote you, so I'm not going to say, and I quote, but you said the receipt that's coming Travis Scott's way, it's going to be one to remember. Well, somebody else had to take about that. Bubba had to take about that. And I don't want to misquote him either, but I'm paraphrasing here. He specifically said that Travis Scott deserves to have his jaw wired shut. And he hope it's by the hands of Cody Rhodes. But if it's not, he better not hope that Bubba runs into him first. Travis Scott put out a tweet days later saying, I'll slap the taste out of Bubba just like I did Cody Rhodes. Just like I did Cody. So what's your comment about that, dog?
So
I respect him making that tweet, by the way, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I have 2 takes on that. I appreciate Bubba taking up for the business. Like, I appreciate that. But on the other hand, trying to use my words.
He not the only one. Who's the other person that came out? He had a whole pot about, Steve Richards. Steve Richards came
Stevie
out.
Richards,
Yeah,
Big
Steve.
Stevie Cool.
Yeah, he was talking trash about
Yes,
Travis
a
Scott.
receipt. Everybody, if you go by their lore of thinking, yes, a receipt is coming. But on the other hand, Bubba, what you gonna do if you run into Travis Scott? Number one, Travis ain't gonna be by himself.
Sure.
And you're thinking this is still wrestling, and you run up on Travis Scott, you might get the dog shit beat out of you, Bubba, for real, all right? Yeah, so like yes, Cody has to deliver that. Nobody can. That's like if I get beat up, or we go get my big brother on you. No, you
Right.
you gotta slap that man back.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can say what you say, but don't say I wish I run into him first.
Right. All right, Chili, what you got?
I mean, no. I mean, one, Bubba, I think it's just more for entertainment than
Yeah, but I think he's
anything.
being entertaining. Yeah. And Travis Scott
He
is
sounded dead serious, dog.
he's a wrestler. He's a heel. Like,
I
but so
mean,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay. It's unfortunate it happened. You know, Trav got a little,
So I got a little kick. Trav missed the spot. He missed more than
Yeah,
one
man.
spot.
And that's
Trav
the
missed the spot.
for those of you who didn't see like the entire clip of what Bubba Ray said, his whole issue was he felt like Travis really thought he was a wrestler and like really like made a call on his own. So the slap wasn't originally planned. It was supposed to be him holding one side of Cody while John Cena held the other side, and The Rock was supposed to whip him.
Travis didn't even do that.
Travis made a call on the fly to hit Cody Rhodes, and it wasn't planned. So that's why Bubba was upset. But go ahead, Shaq.
Yeah, he didn't even do that. He missed the spot because the spot was clearly is the. Ooh, that was gonna sound crazy.
Go ahead, say it.
No, my brother. We might not never get a sponsor. I say that. You could tell the spot was one holding the arms and one holding the legs while he's getting whooped. Because even John Cena's trying to push him back down, like to put him back. Yeah. Try to miss that spot too. We'll keep it there. We'll keep it there.
What did he do to him? What he trying to do to him?
He was trying to thin ice, brother.
I was teetering, boy.
Yeah,
It
he was
close.
trying. I was
close.
I was waiting to see what you was gonna say.
I was close.
All right. Before we get to the last two topics of the night, quick take, real quick. Which match are you most anticipating? And I should have said this right after we talked about it. Which triple threat are you most anticipating? EO versus Jada versus Bianca? And I'm saying this based on what happened last night. So matter of fact, no, let's put a pin in that. Let's talk about last night real quick. That steel cage match last night, dog. First of all, I love the fact that it started the way it did. Of course they weren't, but from the naked eye, it looked like they was really trying to hurt each other in the beginning of that match. I mean, at one point, but that's them doing their jobs as pro wrestlers and selling the moment. So, of course, they weren't really. But if you was watching that for the first time, like you weren't really a wrestler fan, you'd be like, hold up, dog, they really ain't pulling no punches. Like, they really, like, hitting each other for real. Like, the average wrestler fan is not used to seeing that. So, I love the way the match started, man. What rating do y'all get that triple threat match last night? I mean, that triple threat, the steel cage match. The steel cage match.
I'm about to say nothing less than an A.
That's it.
What's the favor?
And now I don't know. The favor might just be like main events.
I'll be so disappointed if he uses it on like getting into this
John Cena match.
Yeah, well, I know, not the John Cena match, but like
that's the only
getting involved in Roman and Seth's beef, or like I think the triple threat match is there, or if he's like, yo, help me win this match, this triple threat. I hope that's not the favor. I hope it's used towards a title shot or something.
I think
after last night, my fault, bro. I think after last night, like it's a possibility the favor might be that CM Punk has to be the only Paul Heyman guy.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what that favor is. Favor might not even be cashed in at Mania. I do think the favor is going to be one or two things. My prediction is either going to be a title shot or to get him what he always wanted, and that's to be in that main event spot. He's already had a title match at Mania. He's never been in the main event, and it's clear as day. I would be shocked if this match is not the main event of night one. I'd be shocked, but it's clear as day that it's going to be the main event. So it might be to get him into that spot. The favorite might be, like you said, Shaq. It might be situation where he got to be the only Paul Heyman guy, and if that's so, then Paul Heyman is going to be betraying Roman Reigns at Mania. It's going to be very interesting to see what that favorite is, man. I like the way they close the show. I like the teaser because you got to remember one of the things that Roman Reigns promised Paul Heyman is that he would never touch CM Punk. That CM Punk was off limits, and he broke that promise right in front of Paul Heyman last night. So we're gonna see what that turns out to be. So with that being said, triple threat match are y'all most excited to see at Mania? EO versus Bianca versus.
Why is he?
It's not that
Why
one.
is he asking this,
It's
bro?
not that one.
That's what this goes back to the question. The
that
story
one.
is not there for the main event,
It's not
bro.
that one.
Like the
And
story.
it's nothing against them. It's
That's
just
what
not
I'm
that
saying.
one.
Hey, I want you to ask that question again, Willie. Ask that. What you just said? Ask that question again. What you just said?
The story's not there. What do you
Nah,
mean?
but right before that, I'm sorry.
I said, why are you asking us?
Why I'm asking is think about who you directing that question towards. It's a reason why I'm asking this.
Oh my God, here we go.
It's a reason why I'm asking this.
But it's gonna be Roman, Seth, and Paul, yeah.
So what if I told you I was more excited to see the women's triple threat match?
That's fine. I don't know
That's fine out
why.
here. That's just
Nothing
you.
wrong with that. Why are you more excited for that match than, explain?
Because here's what would change my mind. Don't get me wrong, there is a story there with this triple threat match. But I think this triple threat match is wasted without meaning something. If they decide that this is going to be, like, let's say this is going to be the number one contenders match to see who's going to challenge Gunther or Cody for the title after this, then I'm more excited for that. I'm more excited for that match. But yes, it's a story, but I think it's better with a one-on-one match between one or the other. Whether it's Roman versus Seth or even Roman versus Punk to get into that main event spot, and that's the favorite or whatever. But with EO versus Bianca versus Rhea, the reason why right now, as of today, I'm more excited for that is because, number one, I love this version of Bianca, yo. The past two shows, SmackDown and Raw, Bianca has cut some of her best promos of her entire career. I like when Bianca show that dog, that gangster. I like gangster Bianca, man. I love it. And once again, Rhea is vulnerable. And EO is like, I love the tantrum that EO threw at the end. I love that segment last night, man. And
that was good. It was a good segment.
Maybe it's because we got to wait to see how this build-up goes with the story, how they're going to connect this triple threat, because we know it's going to happen. Maybe it's because we got to see how it's going to connect. Right now, we see clear as day how the women's triple threat is connected. Mm-hmm. We still got to wait. So that's why, as of right now, once again, my opinion could change tomorrow. Then my opinion could change Friday night when they have SmackDown. My opinion could change the next time the three of them cut. Because eventually there's going to be a face-off between the three of them. There's going to be a promo. We're going to find out more from Paul Heyman. So weeks down the line, my opinion definitely could change. But as of today, March 11th, 2025, I'm more excited about the women's story. I'm not going to lie. And this is from a Roman Reigns guy. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm more excited about that women's joint. That segment was good last night. And then once again, I love Gangsta Bianca, man. I love Gangsta Bianca. And I think all three of them hit that segment out the park, man. So I think it was dope. All right. Question. Roadblocks tonight. Stand and Deliver is WrestleMania weekend. Does Jada Parker win a belt at Stand and Deliver? I'm going to tell you why I asked that. I think, okay, so tonight is winner takes all. The word on the street is that the reason why it's winner takes all tonight between Julia and Stephanie Vaquer is because one of them is hurt. I think Julia is hurt, but I can't confirm or deny that. But one of them is hurt. So one of them is losing the belt tonight. I think it might be a situation where both of those belts is going to be on the line in some way, shape, form, or fashion, Stand and Deliver. And Jada cut a promo Saturday night. I want to say, was it Saturday night or Tuesday? I can't remember. But pretty much saying that she's going to be at Roadblock tonight watching this match. So my question is, does Jada Parker finally win a belt at Stand and Deliver? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just looking like
Yeah.
If so, which one?
North American. The
North
fuck?
American.
Nothing against Jada. I would
Yeah.
love to see her as the face of
North
the
American.
company, but nah, that will be a very, very short-lived run. If they do her like that, they gonna feed her ass to damn Jordan Grace and people who are making a significant amount more money than her. Nah, give her the North American title. Let her hold it down there for now until she's ready for the main roster call up.
See, I'm getting all right. So I'm getting my Stephen A. on right now because if I'm a big First Take fan. One thing Stephen A. does is he listens to what people say, and he uses that to kind of make his point. So, Willie, once again, what's something that you always say about champions is two things. It's almost like this is part of like your blueprint to be a champion in wrestling, right? And you can correct me if I'm wrong. One, you got to have the look. Two, you got
Gotta look.
and two, you got to be able to talk. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to do interviews and stuff like that. You got more of a criteria, but these are the two that you talk about all the time. The reason, and once again, I don't want to say like I'm predicting that Jada's going to win the women's world title or the women's NXT title, but I don't think it's completely out the window simply because she has those two things. She can talk and she got the look. So, and it's definitely, and it depends on who wins tonight. If Julia walks out with both belts, I don't think they take that women's title off of Julia. However, I can see a scenario where Stephanie Vicure stays North American champion, but she doesn't, but Jada Parker wins that other belt. What's more likely? Of course, Stephanie Vicure coming out with the women, with the NXT title, but I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that Jada might shock the world and Jada might win that belt. I don't think it's far-fetched.
If they want to do surprises like they've been doing as overall, okay, but I don't see it.
No, I don't blame you for not seeing it, not at all. But I see, it just depends on what's about to happen with this roster. It depends on what's about to, because the draft is right after Mania, so it depends on what they're doing with the draft and things like that. But that's another reason why I don't think it's far-fetched either. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. And then the last thing we're gonna talk about, the main event for the night, is Naomi finally confessed that she was the one that pushed Jay. They said push Jay. I don't know what Jay got pushed off of. Was it out the truck? I don't remember. They said he kept referring to a push. I don't know if she got pushed off a semi truck or out the semi truck. I don't know, but she got pushed. But Naomi finally was the one that attacked Jay first and foremost. Before we get into any predictions about what happened next, what did you guys think about that segment between Bianca and Naomi?
Did it for The Rock.
Right.
Did it for the kids. Yeah, that's all. Did it for the Rock head ass. That's all that was.
I think that was a dope man, because I don't know if y'all recall, but she said that her favorite wrestler growing up, this was before she even met Jimmy, but she said her favorite wrestler growing up was Rikishi. So I think that was a dope ode to him, man.
Right over there, Chili.
Yeah, man.
I think that was a dope ode to him, man. I don't know if you heard the story. We'll talk about that later. The story about how Jimmy and Naomi met.
I saw the.
You saw the post? Yeah, that was dope. I think it was dope. Oh, Willie, what you think? What you think of the segment?
Great segment. Both them sisters did their thing, knocked it out the park. Dope ode, as you said. I'm looking forward to where they go with this, because they both showed how they can. Hey man, I'm just happy for Naomi, man. I hope this leads to something more for her.
Yeah, it got to, man.
Big hill.
They got rave reviews, man, as they should have. Both of them, I think, two of the best promos of both of their careers easily. It was very not for me, but just from the standpoint of the segment, it was a very emotional segment. They sold the hell out of it. I think Naomi, whenever she returns, it makes sense for the people that saying that Jay squashed her 2 times in a row. It makes sense. I mean, she was wearing a neck brace, you know what I mean? So it makes sense that she didn't get over on Jay. Jay getting whooped by a woman with a neck brace would look pretty bad. Naomi comes back. I think Naomi gotta blindside Jay, and that attack gotta be vicious to set up. I think that the most interesting part about this whole thing is that when Jay was about to hit her finisher on Bianca, on Jade, Jade yelled Bianca's name, but right before she got hit with her finisher. So what happens next is going to be very interesting, man. I don't know if Bianca's going to be forced to pick a side. I don't know if it's a situation where Naomi is going to focus on Jade and then go after Bianca, which kind of makes me think even more that Bianca's going to win this triple threat to kind of set up the next storyline. We'll see, but I think that segment was pretty dope, man. Special
Very
segment. Good. Yeah, I get that segment. It was
Absolutely.
yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect that because those two people, but it's not that Bianca can't come to promo. I don't like somebody who I won't name on this podcast right now. But unlike him, actually I will. Shout out to Reggie, man. Unlike Reggie, I believe Bianca can cut a promo. She just not known for that. So for her to go out there and do that was dope. And I think it was dope for Naomi too, man. So shout out to both of them.
Great.
All right, Shaq, what we got tonight, bro?
All right, so we do have a segment, but it's sort of, because I kind of want this one to have some thought into it. So I'm going to pose the question tonight, and I want everybody to come back next week with their answers.
Oh, man. Homework.
Yeah, man, a little bit of homework, dog. A little bit of homework, because
right, the teachers in us, man.
Because the wrestling, right, is only good as the storyline, correct? Or you can have great wrestling, but a trash storyline. You all agree, right?
Yeah.
But in those storylines, there are great interviews and promos. Mm-hmm. So what I want you all to do for me is just to come back next week with your top 3 favorite promos. Not the best, your personal 3 best promos of all time. Yeah, 3. That's why I didn't want to drop that one.
I already know one up top of my head.
Yeah,
right
I just didn't want to drop that one.
I already got one locked in.
Just on top. But next week, top 3.
It ain't that hard though, man.
Pause that, but yeah, nah, that's tough, dog. That's tough. Hey, cause you know one of my favorites that cut it bad off rip. When Mick Foley finally got the rock. When he finally hit, it doesn't matter what your name is. And the whole crowd crazy. That was hilarious. Mine probably gonna be all joints that's not serious. It's probably gonna be all.
Yeah. Most of mine gonna be funny ones.
But most of mine gonna be the entertaining joints. When Mick Foley, when Mankind had the celebration for the Rock, brought out all the people out.
It's your life. Highest rated Raw segment ever.
Man, one of the list of Jericho moments might be in there. Yeah, all my joints probably gonna be funny. And accompanied by Stone Cold famous King of the Ring promo. Probably one of the joints where Macho Man, the Ultimate Warrior, was off the cocaine. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's one thing about the 80s that we can't dispute. That cocaine had to be something special.
It's a hell of a drug.
It's a piece to both of them, man.
Definitely.
We'll put a pin in that one. We'll think about that and come back to it later.
That's promo.
I'm going to have a gauntlet for y'all next week, too. We ain't did the gauntlet in a while, so I'm going to have a gauntlet for y'all next week. It's going to be very interesting. I started to put the gauntlet together tonight, but I was like, nah, I'm going to save it for next week. But in the meantime, man, thank y'all for tuning in, as always, man, to the show. Follow us on all platforms. We on YouTube, we on TikTok, we on Facebook, we on Instagram. Check us out, man. Episode will be dropping this week. So, yeah, like and subscribe to the comment, man. And if it's ever... I haven't said this before, but if y'all watch this video, man, if it's ever something that you want us to talk about, or you ever got a questions for us, a topic, we're going to do a live episode soon with Q&As and all that stuff. But if y'all ever got a topic for us, man, like a classic wrestling topic that y'all want us to talk about, please let us know, man. Message us, man. We'll be glad to talk about it on the show for sure, man. But until next time, man, y'all have a blessed week and much love to y'all, man.
Love y'all. Peace, man.
Peace.